Halito everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is CT over the NYC Indian, and today we're going to be reviewing The Courtship. And boy, was this a hot episode, okay? This is going to be brought to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's dive right on in. So did you all catch the episode of The Courtship? Oh my God, you talk about drama, scandal, extravaganza. It was so good. So they start off the episode doing a Greek bacchanal, you know, the Greek god of wine and vegetation, Bacchus, right? So it's supposed to be debauchery and everybody's like drinking and wearing togas and feeding each other grapes and things like that. So after, you know, all of this is happening, Mr. Chapman, the model, he sneaks into the castle and pretends like he's, you know, serving her a drink or something. And she was in the bed with her best friend and they're just chatting, and she's surprised when she sees him, and then she tells her friend, can you give us some time? Give us the room. Next thing you know, he's under those sheets, honey, and we did not see him again until the next day. Now, you know, because it's a network show, we're thinking, okay, maybe they just did a little smooching or whatever, but not me. That's not what I think. I think it went down. I think they smashed, and I think that's what happened. So we're gonna get back to that a little bit later on. So now you have like the guys. So Chapman goes back to the cottage and the guys are like very gently interrogating him because they're trying to figure out what went down. Now, but before that, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. I wanted to mention that she did have a good connection with Mr. Holland. And you know, Mr. Holland, he is a very nice looking guy. The guy with the beard and he's a single father. But my thing with him is that the kid is so young, and like, I don't know if like, you know, he's not divorced, he's got a baby's mama situation. If I'm in that type of situation, I'm not thinking, let me go on national television and do a dating show, right? It doesn't mean that you would stop dating, but maybe you start like really looking for a marriage or something like that. Why didn't it work out with the baby's mom? I mean, I'm sure the mom, you know, most mothers do not want to be single moms. Like, what was it so bad that happened between you two that you couldn't work things out? So that's a very big red flag for me, the fact that he was so easily willing to walk away from that relationship, even though we do not know all the details of it. But he says, you know, he's like, oh, we get along and everything. So when they say things like that, to me, it makes me feel like, okay, you were still for those streets. You still wanted to be out there. You still wanted to date. That's what comes to mind. But, you know, if that weren't the situation, like if she just met him in his little small town, or I don't know if Eddie's from a small town, but if he were from a small town or whatever town he lives in, then I think then that could be a little bit more of a, you know, that could be more of a consideration. Like, but I mean, not for me though, because when I was her age, what is she like? Miss Remy is, I would imagine she's in her 20s. Let's say she's, I don't know, mid 20s, late 20s. At that age, I was absolutely not dating anybody with kids. That was like, no. I didn't want to be a step parent. I didn't want to take on anybody's kids. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But once I got into my 30s, then, you know, in the dating scene, and I mean, I was well in my 30s, I had to be like, well, maybe. And only altogether, I ever dated one person ever in all my dating career that had children. One. And they live real far away. So, I mean, it's just, you know, I think like it's not realistic in her situation when she has all these other options that she would choose someone that has a child, especially with a little dicey history with the mom. Now, it's not like the mom died or something like that, right? So that's what I want to say about that. I think in his regular little town situation, fine, no problem, different situation. But okay, so let's see who else. Oh yeah, so let's go back to the cottage. So yeah, they're like gently interrogating him, trying to figure out what's going on now. But Bokikio notices that his little place on top is being, you know, taken down. And you know, the funny part about it is that, you know, the Greeks and the Romans have a very tight-knit shared history, right? Love, hate, a lot of influence with their art, philosophy, foods, and stuff like that. You know, geographically, they're very close to one another. So when I looked at when I was looking at Bokikio, he looked like, just Roman, basically. I mean, he's the Italian guy, right? So with all that little get up on, he seems so fitting in that outfit for some reason. I mean, he's a nice looking guy, but I just think he's a little bit of a, like your typical like a New York asshole, right? I had a friend, this one girlfriend of mine, she was Italian American from Staten Island, right? And she used to be like, you know, I used to be like, so what do you like in a guy? Because she seemed so picky, and it didn't seem like she really wanted somebody that was really rich or really like good looking or anything. And I was like, okay, so what is it exactly? And she was like, I don't know, he just gotta have like that, you know, basically she meant like kind of a guy that kind of, I guess, had a little bit of a swag, that had a little bit of that kind of thing to him. And she goes, you know, basically, I just like a good asshole. It's like, oh God, that's so funny. So and he's from Staten Island, and he would have been perfect for her. Maybe he'd be a little too good looking for her, but that's what, you know, he reminds me of, like that New York asshole, you know? So anyway, he's like salty throughout the whole thing, especially when he finds out that Chapman, you know, spent the night with her. So now Captain Kim is all upset. Now, I told you guys from the very first episode that I feel like he was ready to pop off at any minute. I knew it was gonna come. So anyway, he's like, you know, oh, I'm not feeling this. You know, there are rules, and there are rules for a reason. I'm here to go through the process, through the rules, and it has to be the rules. And, you know, it's like, I respect that he's rule oriented. You know, he has a military background. But let's not get a little too crazy, okay? I mean, he's taking this assignment almost a little too seriously, right? I mean, we're having fun with it. It's a, you know, Regency era kind of, you know, setup, but this girl is still from the modern century. You have to realize that, right? And, you know, as evidenced by that little visit with Mr. Chapman. So anyway, moving on, she has a date with, what's his name? Mr. Judge, the wrestling coach from Michigan. And I want to get a little bit more background. Now, he was telling her about his background, and, you know, how his mom struggled with addiction, and he didn't have his dad, and this and this and that. And you know, it's definitely a hard story. And I just feel like, because the way her family dynamic is set up, I feel like he would be good to fit into her family, because he's looking for that stable, close-knit, kind of like a normal family. Hers is like a very normal family, right? And I think that they would be accepting of him as well. So I kind of feel like they could work. But then sometimes I'm wondering, like, are just like his looks clouding my judgment? Because he's very good looking. She is definitely attracted to him, right? And then I was wondering too, like, what is his background? Do you guys know? Like, his skin is kind of like an olivey kind of complexion and stuff. He's got that thick dark hair. I was wondering, but he's from Michigan, you know, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, okay, so now let's get down to let me take a look here, because I think it's time for, okay, oh wait, hold on. Oh my God, how did I almost forget this? So Captain Kim had a little moment with her. And remember last time she was saying, I really need you to step it up. I need you to show me, and da-da-da-da. And I said from the beginning that this process is not made for everybody. And I feel like he was not one of those people, because first of all, I mean, as a human being, if you're interested in someone, it is very difficult to watch them be around other people. You have to be so confident in who you are to go through like a contest kind of, you know, it's an unnatural way to kind of, you know, meet someone. But I guess in some ways, you know, maybe people do, in some communities, certain situations, do kind of compete for women or whatever. But this is like totally, you know, set up and fabricated, right? But Captain Kim, he was like, you know, they're all in their moment, and he's getting close to her, and she goes, give me a kiss. And he goes he plants one right here on the chrome dome. I said, that's it. That's it. I didn't know how this episode was going to end, but I felt like that was the beginning of the end for him, basically, because you have all these other people that you're attracted to. But remember, she told us she said that he was one of the most attractive men she had ever seen. So that's how much of a physical chemistry she had with him. And for him to hear that and to be like, well, I'm not going to break the rules, so I'm going to just kiss her on her forehead. I was like, you know what, you do need to go home, because you apparently are not seeing that you know, the rules, okay, that's fine. But then once you see everybody else is breaking them and you just continue to follow the rules in this particular situation, it's going to basically, you know, leave you out in the dust because other people are getting ahead because they're having more physical, you know, time and sharing and hand holding than you are. You plant a kiss on her forehead. Come on, son. Like what? Anyway, so that was Kim. I just could not believe he did that. It's like you could hear the needle go when he did that. Oh my God. So all right, now it comes time down to the eliminations. Now, for the dance card, she puts Bokikio on the dance card. And you know, he's always worried every 5 minutes, like he's like a deal is about to fall through, like on, you know, some penthouse he's trying to sell, right? You know, and on Park Avenue. And it doesn't seem like he really wants her. It just seems like he's just very, very competitive. And she's like, you know how it's like so awkward doing this. Okay, you have to show me that you really care about me. Okay, and now I'm gonna need you to step it up. Okay, and then there's the dip. It was just so crazy. And next thing you know, Captain Kim is like, I want to self-eliminate, or I'm gonna go onto the dance card myself. And then he's like, I just can't take this. I heard what happened last night and like, I'm not good with it and I'm out of here. Cause you know, he had all those trust issues from high school. So you're dealing with somebody with trust issues from high school and so regimented with rules together in this process. Like I said, not for him. He was not made for this. And the guys are all on the balcony. They're like leaning over, they're trying to hear what he's saying, especially Chapman, because Chapman wants to know like if he was talking smack about him or something. And then Chapman confronts him later on and he's like, what'd you say about me? Next thing you know, he's like, well, you talking to me like that? How are you gonna say that, you know, that I didn't say anything about you. I just said about what I felt. And you okay with it? And gets him like a little push on it. I was like, oh, it's about to go down. I knew he was gonna pop off. I didn't know he was gonna put his hands on anybody, but that could have really turned into like, you know, a love after lockup situation. But anyway, so Remy, the look on her face when he told her that he was leaving was so, like, I was trying to read it. I was like, oh, and then she goes, well, how did he find out? You know? And I was like, oh, okay. So y'all really smashed. Okay, so I was thinking, no, this was just like a little, you know, a little smooching or something. But her body language, that made sense because she didn't want her parents to know probably that, you know, she got it on with one of the guys. And I was like, oh, damn. So she's like sitting there, she's like a cross between pissed and nervous and embarrassed. She doesn't know what to do. I don't know who chose that lime green dress for her. You do not put lime green. Listen, that was not her color, okay? You don't do that, right? Yeah, so it was just, that was a really crazy ending. So now we got to see next week, now that she is bonded now with Mr. Chapman, is he going to be the next one to be eliminated because now she's feeling pressure? You know, are the guys going to be acting all crazy? This is going to be an absolute insane episode next week. So finally it was kind of smoking, kind of, getting a little hot and heavy, finally it was getting a little bit interesting this week. So, or for the episode from last week. So anyway, all right guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad, you guys are listening. I appreciate the engagement. Leave your comments below. And if you like the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe. What else am I missing here? That's it. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. And chipisalacho.